Good morning, folks. My name is Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you and will determine if probable cause exists for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you're the person that committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me this morning, I presume that you're innocent of those charges. The presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings unless and until the State Attorney's Office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release, that is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there will be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be, and if you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this morning. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you haven't had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, advise that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. Y'all solemnly swear or affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Outstanding. When I call your name, please step forward to the podium. Alexa Beam. Morning, Miss Beam. What's your date of birth?
2/28/92.
Miss Beam, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for one count of petty theft. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
I guess myself.
Okay. State what can you tell me?
Doesn't have much extensive history. There's a 2017 arrest in Pasco for a battery with no resolution. That's all I see.
All right. And young lady, I have an address for you on Normando Street in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
About 2 or 3 years.
Do you have a job these days?
Yes.
What do you do?
I'm the only one working in my household.
Okay. What do you do?
I deliver palm trees and different types of plants. Me and my boss go and pick them up from nurseries, and then we take them to people's homes and deliver them and make the sell and plant them.
Okay. All right. Ms. Beam, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance this morning, so they'll let you out today. You must be back in court on January 3rd, all right? Make sure you're there.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Brittany Hanks. Morning, Miss Hanks. What's your date of birth?
January 13, 1997.
Miss Hanks, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Rupi. Apparently you failed to appear on a petty theft. Did you have a lawyer on that case?
No, sir.
Would you like the public defender? You're going to hire private counsel. You're going to represent yourself.
I'll represent myself.
Okay. State what can you tell me?
Miss Hanks doesn't have any history, and if she would like to resolve today, the state would offer time served, Your Honor. There's no restitution owed.
Okay, Brittany, if you want to resolve this case today, the resolution would be time served, which means you can plead no contest, and I'd sentence you to the 1 day that you've already served in jail, and you'd be done coming to court. Is that something you'd like to do?
Can you explain that to me a little bit real quick?
Sure can. I would ask you how you wanted to plead. You'd plead no contest. I would adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 1 day in the county jail, which you've already done. There'd be a fine and court cost of $620. But then you'd be released from jail today, and this case would be over.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Very good. You understand by entering a plea, you give up the right to have a trial by jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to remain silent, the right to have a lawyer represent you, but you're willing to give up those rights so we can resolve your case today?
Yes.
In case number 17, MM4283, that's the charge of petty theft. How do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
Yeah.
I'll accept the no contest plea findings freely and voluntarily made. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 1 day in the county jail, credit 1 day served, be a fine and court cost of $620. Cost of incarceration, I'll reserve on restitution for 60 days. If that takes care of it, Brittany, if there's nothing else keeping you in the jail, you will be released today, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, good luck. Addie, Melissa? Want to miss what's your date of birth?
January 25th of 1992.
Abby, the charge is retail theft. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
I show two. Well, I believe it's actually one FTA from Pasco County that's from November of this year. So I don't know what the underlying charge was that she failed to appear on. That's it.
Abby, I have an address for you on Sugarfoot Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you been there?
About a month and a half.
Do you have a job these days?
No, working on getting one.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond at $500. I'm going to have you back in court on the 3rd of January. Abby, very important that you go see the public defender after you get out, all right?
Okay.
Thank you. Jennifer McMasters. Want to miss what's your date of birth?
2/25/81.
Jennifer, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Merritt. Apparently you failed to appear in his court on 3 charges. Introduction of contraband into a detention facility, trespass, and possession of marijuana. As to those charges, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Or would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I will appoint the public defender. The bonds on Judge Merritt's warrant are $5,000, $2,500, and $2,500 respectively for a total of $10,000. I can't change those. We'll send you back to see Judge Merritt on the 9th of January. If you get out, you should go see the public defender right away. If you can't get out, they're going to come see you before your court date, okay? Thank you. Corey Milford. Morning, Corey. What's your date of birth?
May 4th, 1988.
Corey, you are here on a warrant signed by Judge Toner. Apparently, you failed to appear in his court on 2 counts of possession of controlled substance, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia. As to those charges, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the public defender. Judge Toner set your bonds at $4,000, $4,000, and $2,000 respectively. I can't change those. That's a total of $10,000. I'm going to change your date. We're going to send you back to see Judge Toner on the 2nd of January. They may have told you January 9th. The right date is the 2nd. If you get out, Corey, you should go see the PD out right away. Otherwise, they'll come see you at the jail. Okay?
Your Honor, I have a note that she's actually on Judge Toner's B docket, and they have court on 12/18 next week. We possibly get her set for that date.
All right. Corey, I'm going to send you to December 18th. Even better, all right?
Great, thank you.
You bet.
That January 2nd date is brutal already.
Brandy Momier. Morning, Brandy. What's your date of birth?
3/24/86.
And Brandy, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. Apparently, you failed to appear in his court on 2 counts: introduction of contraband into detention facility and possession of paraphernalia. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD. Judge Merritt set your bonds at $10,000 and $2,000 respectively. As you've heard, I can't change those. We'll send you back to see him on the 9th of January. If you're able to bond out, go see the PD right away. Otherwise, they'll come see you at the jail.
There's no way to get a sooner court date?
No, that's the best I can do for you, Brandy. Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Justine Pace. Morning, Miss Pace. What's your date of birth?
2/16/88.
Ms. Page, you're here on a warrant that I signed. You failed to appear in my court on a charge of driving on a suspended license. Joe, she has 2 unpaid tickets. Is this something she can resolve today?
Yeah, she probably could, Your Honor, except I show that she actually has 2 open cases with you. She was apparently somebody that was DL court eligible. But I show she has 17 CT 3452 and 17 CT 1928.
Okay.
So she'd be eligible to resolve both, but I don't know what that might do to her future of her license or.
Let's find out. It would result in a 5-year suspension.
Yeah, I thought that might be the case.
Okay. All right, so you don't want to do that. All right. And on this case, Justine, did you have an attorney?
Public defender.
Okay. You want to stay with the public defender?
Yes.
And any other history, Joe?
This page looks like we have a controlled substance and paraphernalia case in 2010 and another controlled substance case in 2011.
Okay. All right, so Justine, I'm going to set your bond on this one at $500. I'm going to send it back to my docket on the 21st of December. If you get out, make sure you go see the public defender right away, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. James Brake. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
9/25/86.
Brake, you're here on a warrant. The judge has signed the warrant. Found probable cause for 1 count of domestic battery by strangulation. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire a private counsel. Or would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point to PD, state.
Looks like he was arrested in July of this year in Pasco for aggravated battery. I don't have a disposition yet for that case. He has a 2014 paraphernalia case and 2011 DUI.
And James, I have an address for you on Ponce de Leon Boulevard here in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yeah, not anymore though.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Yep, which I'm about to lose.
What do you do?
I run a construction crew at Calmaine Foods. And I have 2 days no call, no show now.
Okay. Let's set your bond at $2,500. Condition is that you have no contact with the alleged victim. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message, you don't contact through any social media. You don't have a third person contact her, don't go where she lives, don't go where she works, don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine having contact, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond can be revoked and you can be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if she wants the contact. So if you answer your phone and hear her voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see her, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that she cannot drop the charges against you. That is not a decision she gets to make. She may go to the state attorney's office and request that the charges be dropped. May say that she's not interested in pursuing this matter, but that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped and you should not have contact. I'll have you back in court on the 9th of January. Very important that you go see the public defender if you get out, right?
No possible way of ROR, huh?
That's not even legally possible on a charge like this.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Yep. Mark Clyburn. Morning, Mark. What's your date of birth?
2/22/81.
Mark, you're here on a warrant that I signed. Found probable cause for a violation of probation. Folks at probation are recommending that we terminate that probation and have you do 20 days in the county jail. You can accept that this morning if you wish. If you'd rather speak to an attorney first, you sure can do that. What would you like to do?
I guess I accept it.
All right. You understand by entering an admission to a violation of probation, you give up the right to have a trial to the court, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to have an attorney represent you, but you want to give up those rights so we can resolve this case today?
Yeah.
Case number 17, CT 3176. Do you admit that you violated your probation?
Yeah.
I'll accept the admission, find it's freely and voluntarily made, revoke and terminate the probation unsuccessfully, adjudicate you guilty of the underlying charge. If we didn't do that before, sentence you to 20 days in the county jail, credit 2 days served, be a $50 cost of prosecution and your cost of incarceration. That takes care of it, Mark. You just need to finish the time, all right?
All right.
Thank you. Kirk Collins. What, Mr. Collins, what's your date of birth?
October 23rd, 1994.
Okay. And Mr. Collins, you're here on a warrant that I signed. Apparently you failed to appear in my court on the charge of driving on a suspended license. How about this one, Mr. Justice?
The offer will be time served, Your Honor. I don't
All
show
right,
any
Kurt,
history.
you can take time served and resolve this today if you wish. Would you like to do that?
No.
Okay. You're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender. And history?
I don't believe there's any significant history, Your Honor. I think it's just this. Hold on, there's some mistake. It's apparently a DUI in 2011 from Tennessee.
Okay. And let's see. And sir, I have an address for you. Is it Culbreth Road?
Yes.
How long you been there?
3 months.
And do you have a job these days?
I do. I work full time doing pest control.
I'll set your bond at $500, so I'll have you back in court on the 3rd of January. If you get out, make sure to go see the public defender, all right?
Yes.
Thank you. Edward Dixon. Want to, sir, what's your date of birth?
May 2nd, 74.
Edward, this is a probable cause arrest for violation of probation. There is probable cause for the VOP. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender. The bond, of course, on the VOP is going to be no bond. We're going to send you back to court on the 17th of January. They might have told you the 9th. The right date is the 17th. And the public defender is going to come see you before then, all right?
Okay.
Thank you.
No, it's not the other doctor.
Jeffrey Fatkin. Want to, sir, what's your date of birth?
8987.
All right, Jeffrey, this is a warrant out of Pasco County. The judge that issued the warrant found probable cause for violation of probation. Set the bond at no bond. I can't change that. We'll notify Pasco immediately. They'll have 5 days to come get you. It doesn't take 5 days with Pasco, but if for some strange reason you were still here in 5 days, they'd bring you back to see me, and I'd find out what the holdup is, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. David Fay. David, what's your date of birth?
10381.
David, you're here on a warrant issued by Judge Ruby. Apparently, you failed to appear in her court on a charge of expired driver's license. State.
That'd be a time served offer, Your Honor.
David, if you'd like to resolve this case today, you can plead no contest to the charge. I'd adjudicate you guilty and sentence you to 1 day in the county jail with credit for 1 day served, and this would all be over. Is that something you'd like to do?
Yes.
You understand by entering a plea
Plead
today, you
no
give up the right to have a
contest.
trial by jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to remain silent, the right to have a lawyer represent you. Do you want to give up those rights so we can resolve this case today?
Yep.
Case number 17CT2923, as to the charge of expired driver's license. How do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
No contest.
I'll accept that plea, find that it's freely and voluntarily made. I will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 1 day in the county jail, credit 1 day served, be a fine and court cost $438 and your cost of incarceration, but that takes care of it, David. If there's nothing else keeping you in the jail, you will be released today, all right?
All right, so that means I don't have to go to that January court date.
Nope,
and I'm
you're all done.
All right, thank you, sir.
You bet. Scotty Jones. Morning, Mr. Jones. What's your date of birth?
January 12, 1985.
All right. Scotty, this morning I have several charges. I've got a fleeing to elude, reckless driving causing property damage, reckless driving causing serious bodily injury, driving without a license that causes serious bodily injury, and driving without a license, a second or subsequent offense. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel, or would you like me to appoint the public defender?
And you said drinking?
I did not.
Oh, I'll take public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender, Steve.
Your Honor, I'd say in addition to this being an egregious factual scenario, we have a 2016 battery arrest with a conviction, 2007 possession of a case, multiple count sale of cocaine, did 3 years DOC on that. Resisting in 06, 2006 possession of cocaine, 2006 felon in possession of a firearm, 2005 possession of cocaine, 2004 possession of cocaine, 2004 DWSR, and then a juvenile history prior to that.
Okay. And Scotty, got an address for you on Peach Street in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes,
How long have you been there?
16 years.
You got a job these days?
As I was doing line service, but
Okay. All right, Scotty, I'm going to leave the bonds per the schedule, which is $10,000 on the fleeing, $1,000 on the first reckless, $5,000 on the second reckless, $2,000 on the first driving on a suspended license, and $1,000 on the second one. That's a total of $19,000. You'll be back in court on the 9th of January. If you get out, you should contact the public defender. Otherwise, they'll come see you at the jail, all right?
all right.
Thank you. Timmy King. Morning, Mr. King. What's your date of birth?
25/1946.
King, the charge is trespass. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender, Steve.
This is something that I would make an offer on if you'd like to resolve it of 10 days. He just had a 2017 trespass. He pled to 2 days in October.
Okay. Timmy, you want to do 10 days and take care of this?
Yeah.
You understand by entering a plea today, you give up the right to have a trial by jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to remain silent, the right to have a lawyer, but you want to give up those rights so we can take care of this today?
Yeah.
As to the charge, case number 17MM4167 as the charge of trespass. How do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
No contest.
I'll accept that plea, find it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 10 days in the county jail, give you credit for 2 days served. Finding court cost is $503, and your cost of incarceration, but that takes care of it, Tim. You just need to finish the time, all right?
How much I got to finish?
You got 8 days left,
Yeah.
all right?
All right.
And I'll unappoint the public defender. Terry Comlos. Morning, Terry. What's your date of birth?
10-180.
Terry, you're here on a charge of retail grand theft. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, Steve.
I show a failure to appear in 2017, another failure to appear in 2016, and the 2016 driving on a suspended charge, Your Honor.
And Terry, I've got an address for you on Candlelight Boulevard in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
No, I've moved.
Okay, where do you live now?
5084 California Street.
Okay, how long have you been there?
About a month or so.
Okay, and do you have a job these days?
I've just been doing odd jobs.
I'll set your bond at $1,000. I'll have you back in court on January 9th. Very important that you go see the public defender if you're able to get out, all right?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Michael Miller. Morning, Mr. Miller. What's your date of birth?
10/1/86.
All right, Mr. Miller, I have 2 charges today. I've got a driving under the influence and a possession of marijuana. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender? Mr. Miller, you want the PD?
Yeah. Yes.
State.
I show no prior history from Mr. Miller, Your Honor.
And let's see, Michael, I've got an address for you on Sleepy Hollow Lane in Port Richey. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you been there?
Since 94.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
No, I'm a full-time student.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond on the DUI at $500. I'll release you on your own recognizance on the marijuana. So your total is $500. I'll have you back in court on the 10th of January. It's very important that you go see the public defender when you get out, right?
What date of January? Which
10th.
one? January 10th?
Right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Timothy Robinson. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
1/12/71.
Tim, we have 2 charges this morning. We've got a felony domestic battery by strangulation and a misdemeanor domestic battery. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel, or would you like me to appoint the public defender?
I'll take public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, State.
So a 2017 DUI case, Your Honor, 2016 failure to appear, 2014 DWSR, 2014 failure to appear, 2010 disorderly conduct produced from a domestic battery, 2008 felony DUI. You got a trip to DOC in 2006 for what looks like a DSP and false verification. 2005 possession of cocaine, 2004 petty theft, 2004 false verification, and maybe the one that eventually ended up in prison. 03 possession of marijuana and DUI, 2002 DUI, 1997 DUI, 1995 check case.
Tim, I
All prior domestics were all dropped. Every domestic violence that I've ever had, they were all dropped. Every single one of them.
Okay,
They're all
that's less helpful than you think, but thank you. Tim, I've got an address for you on Finsbury Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Correct.
How long have you lived there?
About 2 years.
And Robin and Shayla live there as well?
Yes, I do.
Do you have a job these days?
Yes, I do.
What do you do?
I'm a carpenter.
Let's set the bond on the felony at $2,500, on the misdemeanor at $1,000. That's a total of $3,500. Condition of those bonds is that you have no contact with either Robin or Shayla. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
I did.
Did you understand it?
I do.
In addition, I'm going to hold you until 4 p.m. this afternoon so that if either of them wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact, because in that case, not only would you get your bonds revoked here, but you could get new charges for violating the injunction.
Understood.
Then, as far as Finsbury goes, as long as either of those folks stay at Finsbury, you'll have to find somewhere else to stay until this case is resolved. You can go by one time to collect your things, your clothes, your toothbrush, whatever you need for wherever you plan to go. To accomplish that, however, you must contact law enforcement first, the sheriff's office or the PD, whatever is appropriate. They will meet you there with a deputy who will stand by while you collect your things and get going where you're going. I'll have you back in court on the 9th of January. Very important that you go see the public defender when you get out, okay?
Understood.
Thank you. Joshua Rugg. Morning, Joshua. What's your date of birth?
5/26/80.
Joshua, I have 4 charges this morning. I've got an ag assault being domestic in nature. I've got a domestic battery and 2 counts of resisting with violence. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint a public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. Steve?
2017 DWSR failure to appear in 2013, failure to appear in 2012, 2012 battery case, 2002 possession of controlled substance, 2002 DUI, and 2000 domestic violence case.
Joshua, I have an address for you on Cassandra Way in Dade City. Is that where you live?
Yes.
And how long have you been there?
4 years.
And does Jennifer live there as well?
Yes.
Do you have a job these days?
No, I don't right now.
As to the two domestic charges, the ag assault and the battery, I'm going to set the bond at $2,000 each. As to the two resisting with violence at $5,000 each, that's a total of $14,000. Condition of the first two bonds is that you have no contact with Jennifer. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yeah.
And you understood that?
Yes.
Also, we'll hold you till 4 p.m. so that if she wants to serve you with an injunction, we know where to find you. Also, as far as Cassandra Way is concerned, as long as Jennifer stays there, you'll have to stay somewhere else until this case is resolved. You can go by one time to collect your things, but you've got to contact the sheriff's office first. I'll have you back in court on the 9th of January. Very important that you go see the public defender if you get out, all right?
All right. Thank you.
Gregory Smith.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Gregory. What's your date of birth?
7/25/73.
Gregory, you are here on a writ of bodily attachment. That means that a child support hearing officer and a circuit court judge determined that you owe some child support. They set a cash purge amount of $669. Do you have $669, Gregory?
No, sir.
All right, are you working these days?
Yes, I just started working with Kimpact Construction at USF doing drywall and installation.
Okay. How long were you out of work?
I just started like 2 weeks ago, sir. I've been incarcerated for 4.5 months, and I just got out. And I just got this job.
So how long between getting out of incarceration and getting a job?
Well, I have a job like a month. I got out October 5th, sir. I just had this job approximately 3 weeks now.
Okay. Okay, that's good. Hang on right there, Greg.
Yes, sir.
All right, Greg, I'm going to find that you're not in contempt for failure to pay child support, so you're going to be released today.
Yes, sir.
But what you need to do is get a hold of the child support folks and find out what you need to do to clear this up. Because if you don't, they'll start the process over again and you get arrested again, all right?
Yes, sir.
Very good.
All right, thank you, sir.
Cedric's brother. All right, Cedric, what's your date of birth?
1/2/86.
All right, Cedric, I have two warrants today. Both of them, the judge that signed them found probable cause for violation of community control. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel, or would you like the public defender?
Public defender, sir.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond on the warrants, of course, is no bond. I'll send you back to see Judge Toner January 2nd. Looks like they told you the 9th. I'll have you back on the 2nd. And the PD will come see you before that, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Michael Tenhagen. All right, Michael, what's your date of birth?
8686.
All right, Michael, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for a burglary. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire a private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, Steve.
Your Honor, if I can just read the summary page here, we have 33 felony charges with 19 felony convictions, 12 misdemeanors, 2 convictions, 5 prior failures to appear, and 2 trips to DOC. I can go through each one individually if you prefer.
That's okay. Michael, I've got an address for you on Eskimo Curlew Road in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
3 years now.
Oh, you've got a DOC hold, don't you?
I'm in DOC already,
Right.
sir.
Okay. Well, then none of this makes a lot of sense. We'll just leave the bond for the warrant. It's $5,000. You'll be back in court on the 9th of January to get this one resolved and get you on your way as quickly as possible. All right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mitchell Thompson. Morning, Mr. Thompson. What's your date of birth?
12/30/92.
All right, Mitchell. First thing I have is a warrant for you from Judge Toner. Apparently, you failed to appear in his court on 3 charges: selling, manufacturing, delivering, or possession with intent to control substance, selling marijuana, and possession of paraphernalia. And then we have a new charge of loitering and prowling. Probable cause all the way around. Mr. Peeler.
Good morning, Mr. Thompson. My name is Matt Peel. I work with Peyton Heislip. I don't think we've met, but I know you talked to Mr. Heislip. Unfortunately, with the felony bonds, there's nothing the judge can do on that. You have misdemeanor court this morning with Judge Rupee. We'll handle that. We do have a motion hearing set for December 20th for you. If you want to stay in jail for the next 6 days, Mr. Heislip can probably get your bonds removed, get that KPS recalled. However, if you want to post bond, the judge is going to have to keep the bonds where they are this morning, okay? I just want to let you know that. I saw your name on the list, so I came in here.
Okay. So, Mitchell, what I'm going to do, he's exactly correct on the felony warrant. I'm going to leave the bonds per the warrant, which is $10,000, $5,000, and $2,000 for a total of $17,000. But that case appears to be set already for a motion hearing on the 20th of December, which is just 6 days away.
Yes, sir.
All right. So hang on 1 second.
So Judge Alex can just leave it on the 20th.
Right. That's what I'm going to do.
Thank you, Judge. All right, Mitch. Peyton will see you in 6 days in court.
Oh,
Course comes to work.
hold on for a second, because
Hang on,
I'm showing
hang
him.
on. Got to get to the misdemeanor.
I got no bond listed on the loitering and prowling charge,
Does he have?
and then he has 2 open misdemeanors for which the state would be asking for an RCO.
Okay. And those are on Judge Ruby's docket today?
They are, Judge, right?
Apparently.
Well, Judge, if that's the case, if we could just plea out the lawyer and prowling to time served.
Well, I'd rather send it over there because that may be that she gets some kind of resolution based on that. But, because what are his open cases?
Looks like we have a petty theft with restitution owed and a DWSR. Then maybe they can just put it off till later in the morning and get a global resolution on it.
Does you guys represent him in the misdemeanors?
We do, Judge, but because Judge Ruby splits up her docket, the only case on for this morning is the criminal traffic.
CTs and the MMs.
Right. I mean, Judge, it's probably going to be a probation case anyway. I understand, though, that the state wants to move to recommit him. Nothing I can do on that.
Okay. Well, and it's not just that. There's obviously a number of issues going on.
Right. I mean,
I'll tell you what. I'll recommit. It can go next door. If he wants to resolve next door, I'm sure she'll pull the MM case or the CT case, whatever it is that's in here to resolve. So he'll have an opportunity this morning to work it out. And otherwise, we'll hold him on this, or you can work out this one so he can stay on bond on the other ones. But I'll send it next door for that. So Mitchell, on the loitering and prowling, I'm finding probable cause. Actually, I got to revoke on the other case. What's the case that's next door today? The MM case.
Well,
20. Or is it CT?
The CT case is 17 CT 3820. The MM case is 17 MM 3266.
I think 3266 would be the one that's on the docket today, right?
No, it's actually, for some reason, the CT case is on for this morning. But you're right, this is supposed to be a misdemeanor debt. But
Clerk friends,
The M&M is set for January 4th.
and the CT is for today.
it is, Judge.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So what I'll do on this case is I'll set a bond of $500. I'm going to send this over to Judge Rupee this morning. And then pursuant to 903.0471, I'm going to revoke his bond in 17 CT 3820. So that case is no bond, which is already on her docket for today. So maybe you guys can get a global this morning.
Right.
All right.
If I could just explain that to him real quick.
Yep, go ahead.
So, Mitch, what we're going to do is you're going to stay on the jail docket for one of your misdemeanor cases. I'm going to try to resolve all your misdemeanors this morning. Because what the judge has just done is because you committed a new criminal offense, while you're out on bond, he revokes your bond. I don't want you to just sit in jail and have no options. So I'm going to try to resolve all 3 of your misdemeanors this morning so you can at least bond on your felonies, okay?
All right.
Okay. See you in a little bit.
Thank you.
Stay right there.
So we're only doing the RCO on
I'll just do it on the one that's there today. All right, and then we have a motion on Serena Blaze.
Right, Judge. I've given that to Mr. Justice. I'm sorry that he didn't have any kind of heads up on that. Judge, with Miss Blasius, her mother is in the courtroom. Judge, she had one prior withhold. Judge McCatherine kind of slapped her with quite a number of sanctions for what I consider a non-egregious battery. I understand there were 2 of them. Judge, she has done the equivalent of, she's done 17 days as of today with her time served. I don't think it's out of the question that she would have got 30 or something like that to resolve her violation of probation. So I know it's not quite that, but considering the circumstance, she has paid off all her fines. Her mother would pay off the community service hours as well. Judge, I also got this morning from her mother that in 2017, May 22nd, she was found to be disabled. If Your Honor wants to see this.
I believe it. All right. So, has she been arrested for a VOP?
Yeah, Judge, she's on your docket for December 20th. So the reason I said it in front of you, Your Honor, was because she is set on your docket already. And I moved the case up, and instead of having her sit in jail, either I'd ask that she just be revoked and terminated unsuccessfully with 17 days credit, or at the very least you reinstate her with the condition that you remove some of those conditions that I think Judge McCatherine didn't kind of socked her with.
State, what do you believe?
I have to take issue with part of Mr. Hill's statement because clearly number 2 under his motion indicates she had previously been convicted of a heinous crime by his own description.
Well, she wasn't convicted, but she got withhold.
I can only rely on what the defense counsel is presenting to me in his motion. I defer to the court. I think Ms. Netty's already left because I don't have any additional information about the probation.
What
without her.
the recommendation was then?
Judge, I believe it was 180.
Oh, just because it's a battery.
Correct, it's a battery. And I get it, she didn't do pretty much anything on there. I mean, her mom has paid off the fines. But if she had she had private counsel at the time, she probably wouldn't have gotten that offer.
And clerk friends, she's a 0 balance.
Right.
It's 16 mm 955.
I'll clarify, if she had Miss Cole, she probably got a better offer.
So who did we just throw under the bus here?
We showed 0 balance.
Okay.
I'm guessing it was Eric maybe?
Okay, and she's not there today.
Doesn't look like it, Judge.
Then in 16 mm 955, I'm just going to go ahead and terminate Ms. Blazes' probation unsuccessfully, and we need to make a note on the dispo that if this is the only thing holding her in jail, she should be released today.
And it is, Judge. Now strike her from your...
And strike her from the 12/21 docket, right?
I think she was actually set for the 20th.
20th
for
or whatever
arraignment.
for arraignment,
Yes.
that's fine.
She's on the 20th for this week.
Right.
All right.
Thank
You
you.
got a plea on this guy, Hillis?
Apparently, yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Hillis, come on forward.
James' story was a good one. Oh, yeah, indeed.
All right, what are we doing with Mr. Hillis?
Judge, he's supposedly taking time served on a misdemeanor today. I believe it's a possession of paraphernalia. He had a DUI that was no cross. Yeah, it's 106 days in. We resolved his felonies. It was Mr. Tippin's case, and he asked if we could put on today.
Oh.
You know anything about it, Joe?
Yeah, because I had the violation. This is the one where I am dumbfounded that they dropped the DUI, but here we are, so that's a fine resolution for what we actually have in front of us.
Okay. So, Mr. Hillis, you ready to take time served on the misdemeanor?
Sure.
All right. You understand by entering a plea, you give up the right to have a trial by jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to remain silent, but you want to give up those rights so we can take care of this today.
Yes, sir.
Case number 17MM3255 is the charge of possession of paraphernalia. How do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
Okay.
I accept that plea find is freely and voluntarily made. Adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 106 days in the county jail. Credit 106 served. Finding court costs is $518 for the public defender's office. But that takes care of it all. And if there's nothing else keeping you in the jail, you will be released today. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. No coin. You would have got that upstairs or downstairs. All right. Very good. Thanks, folks.